If there's one dessert that will impress your guests, it would have to be a souffle. There are so many different flavour combinations that you can create, and I think it's got that ooh-ah effect when it comes to the table because it's just so beautiful, and the consistency, well, it's like clouds. So I've just got some whipping cream here. I'm going to add some icing sugar. Now, this is a chantilly cream, so icing sugar and vanilla. You can use some fresh vanilla bean or some vanilla extract, which is what I'm using today. So just a 1/4 teaspoon here. And we're going to give that a whisk. So you don't want to over whisk it or else it'll start to curdle and split. So that's perfect as is. So I'll put that in the fridge in a moment. Let's get on to the souffles. I'm going to try something a little bit different, banana souffle. And this is a recipe that my good friend Lucas Parson has passed down to me. This is his go-to souffle because it's really easy to whip up. First of all, 2 bananas, 2 ripe bananas. These ones are quite small. If you've got a large banana, just use 1. We're going to break it up into a mini food processor here. And we're going to blitz the banana with some honey. So we're just going to add that with the banana. Now the lid goes on and we're going to blitz that until it's really smooth. All right, perfect. That's the consistency that we're looking for. There's no lumps or bumps. I'm going to get a really large bowl here, and now we'll add all of that mix into a bowl ready to go for folding. Now on to the egg whites. For this recipe, I require 4 egg whites. So we're just going to break them into a really clean mixing bowl, just like this. You want it to be clean because if it's dirty, it'll affect the way the egg whites rise. Don't throw those egg yolks out. You can use them to make a custard at a later date. Ooh, even a custard as a garnish for this would be really nice. So we'll break these. And our last egg here. We want to start whisking it until it starts to become pale and frothy. Then we'll start raining in 2 tablespoons of sugar, and then we're looking for soft peaks to start with. Okay, so this is the consistency that we're looking for. Perfect. See how it's just sticking to the whisk like that? That's what we're looking for. So I'll just tap that off. And now we can start folding our egg whites into our fruit base, so the banana base here. Now we want to start with 1/3, and you don't have to be as gentle with the first third. So say it's about 1/3. We want to incorporate it. Don't whisk it vigorously, but at the same time, you don't need to be so gentle. We're going to be really gentle in the last 2/3. So once that's completely incorporated, we can add another 1/3. So cut through the middle and then fold is the best way to ensure that the egg whites are incorporated with the puree without being over mixed. Okay. The last 1/3, or the last little bit that we've got in here, this is where we have to be really, really gentle, because the more air that we keep in these egg whites, the higher they're going to rise. Cut through the centre and fold. Now on to the mould. So just 4 ramekins for this recipe. When you're greasing the moulds, just get a little bit of butter on a brush here and use an upward motion, because what happens if the butter is going in an upward motion, then it's going to help our souffles rise and have that cork effect. And of course, not just the butter, we need a little bit of sugar here. So we'll just add a little bit of caster sugar, and we use the caster sugar because it's quite fine. And then we just swirl it around. Done. Now we can start filling it. So with our souffle, we're going to top them up. I like to use a palette knife just to press down first of all, and then to ensure that it's nice and even, we want to scrape the top off so it's perfectly even, and then with your thumb just run around the lip of the souffle mould. So these are going to bake in the oven for about 7 to 8 minutes. It depends on your oven, of course. Fan forced, 180 degrees. Essentially, we're looking for them to rise nicely and get a good golden colour on the top. Aren't these the most impressive souffles? They have risen to perfection. This one here, that's the money shot there. I'm gonna take that one. Now, there's a few different toppings. I have my cream ready to go. I've also got a little bit of coulis here. So what I did is I got some fresh berries, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, blitzed them up until we've got a really nice smooth puree, and then put that through a fine sieve so we don't have any seeds. And the way that I love to serve this, well, you have to have some icing sugar on the top of this. So I like to just dust it from a height. You just can't help but smile when it comes to souffles. That looks so good. And then just with a spoon, break into the center of it and then pour in that coulis. Oh, that is just amazing. Banana, berry coulis, and chantilly cream. Because if you're gonna have a dessert like this, you might as well go all out. And now it's time to taste. It's gonna be really hot. Totally satisfied. That is the ultimate impressive dessert, banana souffle, the best.